First question for you, Richard, is if we take a look back at last year's Royal Ascot and you won the St James's Palace Stakes with Rosallion.
Yeah.
What was that feeling in getting that win with such a great horse?
Straight up answer, it was probably the best race day of my life.
Yeah?
I never felt a win like that. And I felt the horse deserved it. We deserved it. We didn't win the Guineas, but that was as close. It was a very, very special day, and one that I'll remember forever, I would think.
Yeah. Is there a particular moment when you were watching the race?
Yes, when he went past the line.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, he was looking like he was stuck for a bit of room, and he did very well to get the eventual second. And I remember I watched it in the parade ring, and I was raging with myself because I didn't watch it live. But when you watch it live, you don't actually see bits in the race that you need to see as a trainer. So I watched it in the parade ring, and I think I kicked Angus Gold up the arse when he won. He's probably still got a bruise now, but yeah, it was amazing.
Whilst we're on the subject of Rosallion, he came third in the Lockinge recently. Did he need that run before Royal Ascot?
Yeah, he did. And that's effectively why he needed his first run last year in the Guineas. And he went on and he beat all those horses during the year. And it's probably exaggerated now he's a year older, and there's only one way, I've said it 1,000 times, there's only one way of getting match fitness, and that's pairing matches. And that's what that did. Don't get me wrong, I was disappointed not to win. But on the way home the next day, actually thinking, he actually ran a very smart race. I said to Charlie Appleby, the real race was between me and him anyway, so I won that. And the favourite the winner and the second, two very good horses, and they were match fit, and the third and fourth weren't. I'm assuming with Charlie's, and we're all looking forward to the Queen now. It's going to be probably the best race of the week.
I was going to say, with the sort of horses now that we're seeing, sort of trainers say are going for the Queen, and we've just had one from America, so they're going for it. Is that something that you're particularly worried about with Rosallion going up against such a good level of horse, or is it?
I think the American turf horses are very good to a level, but I find generally, our horses, especially at Ascot this time of year and on a straight mile, we probably have the advantage. But the more horses that come from all over the world, the more worldwide interest there is in our sport and Royal Ascot. So I think it does the race and the meeting an awful lot of good.
If you had to pick a superpower to have, what superpower would you pick?
See into the future.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you could get your winners?
Yeah, exactly. I could back them too. And I know the ones that are going to run bad and find an excuse not to run them, yeah.
Yeah. If you had to pick somebody as your sort of like your inspiration or your sporting hero, who would you pick?
Federer.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Any particular
just
reason?
a gentleman. When he plays tennis, I think a topspin backhand on the tennis court, single-handed, is one of the most difficult shots in sport, and he makes it. It's just so elegant, and I love his attitude. I love his, his dedication and his frame of mind. He always looks like even if he's getting beat or he loses, he always comes over as a nice bloke.
Yeah,
and I like that.
So out of the big four, he was your favourite then?
Yeah, by a mile. Weirdly enough, I quite like that Nick Kyrgios.
Yeah.
If I was sponsoring a tennis tournament, he's the first man I'd want there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gets eyeballs.
I'm not sure I'd want to be him, right? Even though I probably am, like him. He's an extremely talented player, but yeah, for me, Roger Federer.
If you could pick one song to listen to for the rest of your life, what would you pick?
Where do you go to, my lovely? Peter Saar said.
I can't say I know it. I'm not.
Where do you go to, my lovely, when you're alone in your bed?
Nah.
Tell me the past that's around you. Yeah. Anyway.
Is that the karaoke song? Is it?
That's not a karaoke song. It's just one of the classics. It's probably before you were born.
If you had to pick one thing about Ascot, that was your favourite thing about the racecourse or about the meeting, what one thing would you pick?
The people.
Yeah.
It's just an amazing, one-off, unbelievable English part of our ethos and part of our heritage. The best horses, the best people. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Best sporting event in the world, I think, and 5 solid days of it is exhausting.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a race for absolutely every good horse there is in the world. There's a race for it there.
Yeah.
And long may that continue, and it's fantastic.
You're deserted on an island. What is the one thing you are taking with you?
A chef.
I mean, it's not a bad answer.
Credit card. Oh no, I tell you what I'd bring, a helicopter.
To get off.
Yeah, just to go home.
Are you flying it? You can't bring the pilot.
I'd give it a go. If I was on a desert island and I was hungry enough, I'd give it a go, trust me.
What's your biggest fear?
Failure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that life general, or just racing specific, or is that?
Yeah, business, racing, anything, It's disappointments don't, I'm not frightened of them, but, just general failure, I just find awful.
Yeah. What is the best race you've won?
St James Palace Stakes, Royal Ascot 2024 at 2:37 in the afternoon and 45 seconds.
What do you do when you're not at the races or you're not here at your yard? What's it you like to do as your downtime?
Play a bit of paddle.
Yeah.
2 kids both playing cricket. They love it. Watch a bit of telly, box sets. I don't like gardening. I like the garden. It's weird, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm starting to like trees. It's really weird. And my next tree I want is a golden acer.
So, Richard, what is a bucket list race for you to win?
Derby.
Yeah?
Derby, yeah. Quite like to win the Arc, but Beckett's beaten me to it, so I've knocked that off the list now. It doesn't count.
Hoping for the Derby this year then?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm hoping to run well, that'll do me. I've been second in it before.
Yeah?
Yeah. And I've been 5th in it. I suppose to run well in it is, well, it's not good enough, is it? But it's nice to have a runner.
Yeah. What is the one thing you find annoying? That can be in daily life, it can be in racing. If there's one thing that sticks out in your mind as annoying.
When I see ivy growing up a nice tree.
Yeah?
Really gets my goat. I have to go and cut it at the bottom, because otherwise you just see all the trees just being strangled to death by this ivy. That really gets on my wick.
If you weren't a trainer, what would you be?
Skin, I suppose.
Good answer.
I wouldn't be an athlete, I don't think. I wouldn't mind working in the city.
Yeah?
Well, they just look quite cool, don't they?
I mean, it's a different vibe to being out in the countryside, lovely countryside here.
Yeah, but you're just working in a different environment. It's probably the same thing.
Yeah.
You're investing and choosing, or having your opinion of investments, and if you're right, you do well. If you're not right, you don't do well. It's kind of similar, I suppose.
How did you get into horse racing?
My granddad was a trainer,
Yeah.
My father was a trainer, and I have very little imagination.
So that I'm guessing it was always on the cards for you to take over.
Yeah, but I didn't learn to ride till I was like 12, so I wasn't in love with it straight away. But then I used to go racing in the summer holidays with my dad when air conditioning was a new thing in his car, and I used to freeze the whole way down to Goodwood. I remember it every year, freeze. And I still like going racing, so that probably is a good sign.
With your dad being obviously such a sort of like, I'd say, legendary trainer,
Yeah.
how was that growing up with knowing that when you were at the races, people were looking at your dad as sort of like...
It was great, it was... When I first started training, I used to get annoyed, ring my mum, and people, I would spend 10 minutes explaining to them what had happened, and they'd go, ring your dad, see what he thinks. And that used to annoy me, but then when you grow up a bit, you realise it's actually a compliment and a pleasure, and it's a huge advantage to have that head start in life, and I'm immensely proud of what he achieved. And I'm my own man, I don't try to be like him, but he was fantastic, and I've really only just started, and he's still here and helps out. And
I was going to say, do you still take advice from him? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I don't always take it, but I mean, he gives it. Yeah, I do, yeah. But he's the sort of bloke, he wouldn't lean on me to tell me something. I would have to ask.
Yeah.
He is very much, it's your turn, and you do what you think.
What is one thing that makes you smile?
I don't know. Happiness is not something I've struggled with. I always, see the lighter side or the bright side of of most things, and
Yeah.
you know, we're all here for a good time, not a long time. Kids, silly things they say, stupid things they do, brothers, sisters, people with silly opinions, people when they get angry, makes me laugh when they really lose it. Many things, you know.
What is your proudest moment in the sport today?
I was champion trainer
Yeah.
a long time ago, and winning the St James Palace Stakes. And you know, I like to think we have, as a firm, we probably have about 10 moments every year where you think, actually, you know, we've done a really good job. The new barns, I love. You know, we've got some nice owners, some nice horses, and have some good winners, make some nice friends, and sit back at the end of it and say, actually, you know, we're doing all right. So it takes a long time to make a system and you know, a group of people. Everybody can work for the company, but you know, it takes a long time to get people to work for you. And I like to think we have, you know, a big group of those people who are proud of where we are, what we've done, and what they've done.
If you had to pick a horse to train out of Yates and Frankel, who would you pick?
You don't expect me to answer that. I mean, Frankel all day long. Yates, I know, what did he win, 4 Gold Cups?
4 Gold Cups.
Yeah, but he didn't have the speed or the brilliance of Frankel.
No.
He was a great horse, but Frankel, I mean, you can't compare him with anything. I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the best thing about working in horse racing?
People, you know, they don't have to be champions horses to be one of the best things, but some horses get you. I had a horse called Oh This Is Us. You know, he won like 16 races and he wasn't a champion, but he gave me more pleasure than an awful lot of horses. There's a horse now, Mr. Baloo, owned by 6 people, and he's given them so much fun. And you know, thinking that you can make someone's day or week or month, a horse like that can do it, and you get some sort of occupational pleasure by, you know, giving them something that they don't get in their everyday life.
If you had to sum up Royal Ascot in 3 words, what would they be?
I would say feast or famine.
Yeah.
As a trainer.
Yeah.
You know, so it seems like every race you're getting a disappointment, but then you just get one. And all of a sudden I remember about 10 years ago, the first runner was Tornado. That was the first race. And he won. People kept coming up to me saying, oh my God, your horse is running brilliant, Richard, well done, you're having a great week. I can tell you now it didn't feel like it.
Yeah.
But they remember the winners, and that just shows you remember for your winners, not all the other nearlies and what ifs and unlucky runs and all that.
Last question for you then is, how would you like to be remembered?
Not as Junior.
Yeah.
Richard, I don't know. How would I like to be remembered? I'm not sure I'll care, because I won't be here. So, I don't know, really. Solid guy. There you go.
Perfect. Thank you, Richard.
You're welcome.
Cheers.